Hey everyone, it's Elsie here. Hope you're all well. Words. It's too early in the morning, and I filmed this voiceover so many times, but I just keep being interrupted. The latest interruption was our crazy neighbour next door who keeps burning things in her garden, and now it smells like our house is on fire. So just went to check that my house wasn't on fire. You'll be pleased to know it's not. So yeah, just crazy neighbour burning our house down. Well, it smells like she's not actually burning our house down. I hope she doesn't. She doesn't really like us because we have a cat and she wants to attract wildlife into her garden, but apparently our cat stops that. So we live in the middle of the town, bearing in mind, we live in England. I don't know what she thinks is going to fly into her garden, apart from like a sparrow. Anyway, or a pigeon. We keep having loads of pigeons in our garden. Okay. You do not want to hear about our pigeon situation in our garden. Okay. Oh dear. So, making a layout, as you can see. This one is about Netflix because I am the queen of Netflix. Netflix is my bae. Netflix is great. And this layout is about how great Netflix is. Now, it's indirectly inspired by an album I made for my best friend. It was her birthday the other week, and she has just got back. Actually, well, she got back like 2 months ago from like a 14-month gap year. Let me know if you understand that old school internet reference. Yeah, she basically went travelling around like Australia and South Asia, and yeah, her photos were amazing. They filled a whole 12 or 12 Project Life album. I think she counted the pages. I think it was 104. So that was a lot. And yeah, so and then this Felicity Jane kit, which is the Next Stop June kit. It's kind of inspired by like sort of traveling and adventures and that kind of thing, and like telling basically what you're up to, kind of that kind of thing, I think. If I remember correctly. But the thing that stood out for me in Gina's copy of like describing the kit and all that was that she said like whether you're like one of those like world travelers, wanting to document all of that, or whether you're a spending a Saturday in stretchy pants watching YouTube kind of person. And I was like, yep, I'm that kind of gal. So this layout was about that, and it was kind of funny because I read that and I laughed because my best friend is like a lot more spontaneous, shall we say, than me. She's much more suited to the travelling lifestyle than I will ever be, I think. So yeah, and then there's me, and I'm just very much a home bird. And yeah, I like my Netflix and my YouTube videos and my comfy clothes. So this layout, I guess you can say, was kind of inspired by both of those situations, and I really, really like it. So for this, the notebook thing that I'm doing here, that's a journaling card from the kit I decided to use, and I sort of scrap lifted myself on that little bit. I made this layout for Felicity Jane, actually, using Felicity Jane, obviously, and I think it's like my favourite layout I've ever made, and I didn't film it, and I'm kind of annoyed at myself that I didn't film it. I think because it took quite a while to finish. There's a lot of stitching and a lot of sort of fussy cutting and faffing about, that kind of thing. I'll link to it down below. And yeah, I didn't film it, but I really liked, in the note to self kit, there's this notebook paper, which I love. It's so pretty. So I used that and kind of like layered some notebook paper behind it because I don't have a notebook punch. I really want a notebook punch, but I have notebook paper, so I feel like I can't really buy a notebook punch. So we're just going to go with the notebook paper for the moment. And then, yeah, just like layering a few pieces behind it to do a list of how I do Netflix, basically. Yeah, so the title of this layout ended up being How to Netflix Like a Boss. Because I'm pretty much an expert at Netflix. So if you follow me on Instagram, you will know that I said I would have a process video for you yesterday. Yesterday for me was Sunday, and then that didn't happen. There was like technical issues, things like that, boring things that I won't bore you with. So yeah, and then part of the yeah, I was also what didn't help was Netflix, because they've put Gilmore Girls on Netflix, and I've never seen it before, but it's one of those things I've always wanted to watch, and it's also been on the American Netflix forever, like, and they just haven't put it on anywhere else, which has been well annoying, so I haven't watched it, and now I can watch it, and I love it. It's amazing. Fun story, not for my liver, but the first time I watched Gilmore Girls was with one of my best friends, and she was like, we're at this party, and I got very drunk, and we decided that we're not party people, we're just gonna go drunkenly go get like chicken nuggets and chips from like, you know, one of those sort of like gross takeaway places, and then go and watch Gilmore Girls at like 3 or 4 in the morning. So that's what we did. I don't remember any of it. So I was watching the first episode and I was like, literally no recollection of any of this. Oops. I'm a terrible drunk. Yeah, that's why I don't drink anymore. So that's another story for another day. And yeah, so Gilmore Girls was to blame for, you know, no process video yesterday. Sorry, not sorry. But how great is Gilmore Girls? Can we all just, yeah. I put on Instagram like about not having a layout, but Gilmore Girls was on Netflix, so it's okay, kind of thing. And so many people commented like, I love Gilmore Girls, and I'm like, oh, I just, you know, just don't think like that many people will watch it, kind of thing. And people do, so I've just like sort of realised that Gilmore Girls is a great equaliser of the people. I feel like this is just such a lovely programme, because I've always said like babies and dogs are the great equalisers of humanity. Like if someone has a tiny human in their arms, gravitate towards it, it just puts a smile on your face, because babies are so golden, chubby and cute, and dogs are also cute and chubby and cute. So yeah, I feel like people are just a lot more friendly to you when you have a baby or a dog. Neither of which I have. Really want a dog though. Like, not so much a child. Not at that point in my life yet. I'm at the point, you know, where I like children, but I also like giving them back after I've looked after them. You know? So, yeah. Yeah, I haven't talked about what I've done in this layout really, have I? Oh gosh, as usual. I don't know why I'm surprised. That chipboard alphabet is my favourite thing in the entire world. It is beautiful. I love serif fonts, and I love black and white, and I love it in an alphabet form that I can put on a layout. So I'm very, very happy with that section of the kit. Happy with all the kit, but especially that. I love it. So had a bit of a palaver with the stitching, with the how-to stitching, because I originally stitched the whole thing in white thread and then decided I hated it, so then had to unpick it all, but for some reason I just couldn't like unpick it normally, so I basically just had to hack at it and get it all off, but I much prefer it in black, so I'm glad I did that. The little me and the TV, haven't really talked about that, have I? yeah, I love it. It's just kind of adorable and cute and kind of, yeah, I love it. I went for a retro kind of TV because I feel like if I went for a modern TV, it would just be like a rectangle. A rectangle. I said that weirdly. In my head, that sounded weird. A rectangle box, which wouldn't be very interesting. So I did like an old school TV thing with the antennas and like the little dials, that kind of thing. And then I'm adding some iridescent clear kind of sequins, which I love. I got off eBay. Because I didn't really want to do like ink spatters, and I felt like it just needed something a bit extra, so sequins it was. So yeah, any questions or anything else, leave me a comment down below and I shall answer. And yeah, hope you're having a lovely day, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye!